It's Thursday and it's still April. That's kind of great. Kelly Collis, how you doing?
As my daughter said, this has been the worst month ever. And I'm like, really? I know what that she has returned back to school and it requires routine and getting up and getting dressed and brushing her teeth to get out the door. And it's just a little bit of shock to the system.
Got it. Because I have like 12 other suggestions of horrible months.
I agree. I'm right there with you.
Memory, if she's interested.
She was kind of getting used to just being on her laptop and working from her bed. So
makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. We got a lot to get to this morning, including a world concert for vaccinations.
Virtually.
Yes. Yes. I have one big question about the host, though. We're gonna get to that in a second too.
Handmaid's Tale came out yesterday. I was really excited to see it. It's been a long time since the last one ended. And I realized that my appetite for it is not really the same as it was before the pandemic.
Makes sense. Also, the National Cathedral, a national treasure. They are adding something very important to the cathedral. And then also I want to talk about the Cathedral Gargoyles, because you might have missed the hour-long explainer on the Cathedral Gargoyles that recently went onto the internet, and it is tremendous.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Plus, Britney Spears is going to speak. I mean, not to us, but eventually she'll be speaking very soon about her conservatorship. You know that that's a very important hot button issue for me around here. So I'm really interested in that. And we got a whole lot more to get to this morning. So thank you for joining us. If you want to get involved into our group text anytime at 703-782-4519. Or you can catch up with any of our past episodes. Just search Tommy and Kelly anywhere you get your podcasts or on the Real Fun DC app.
Live from DC. Broadcasting around the Beltway and beyond, it's Tommy and Kelly made in DC on the Real Fun DC channel and on demand anytime, anywhere you get your podcasts.
Kelly, I want to get started with the cicadas, though, because everyone's talking about them. Have you seen any come out of your garden yet? I know you've got all the holes.
Yes. So over the weekend, we did do a lot of weeding and gardening, and we saw lots of them. And I think we evicted one or two a little prematurely. Okay. And so my neighbor and I saw up in the tree, because our porch off our kitchen basically is like tree level, right? And this one lonely, probably a male cicada, making the noise, looking for love. And we felt very sorry for him because the others are not out yet.
Oh, man.
So, and I know time is of the essence of this male cicada's life. So hopefully others will join him by the weekend or so.
Like that poor guy, the first at the bar, being like, where is everybody?
Totally.
Aw.
Yeah. So I have seen one. He's moving a little slow. I think he still was napping when we got him out.
Early cicada does not get the love, but often the early cicada gets eaten by a bird. So that's possible.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think soon enough with this warm weather, they're going to start coming out.
Also be careful with your dogs, because dogs think cicadas are delicious.
Yeah, but they're not poisonous for the dogs.
That's true. That's true. So maybe you want to save on the Eukanuba this month. That's fine.
I don't know if we're not vets, so I don't know if I'd recommend.
You're a vet. Make sure it's a good source of protein. That is very important to do. Yes. My goodness. Check it out. We have got a lot to get to this morning, Kelly. So where do you want to start? Do you want to go Handmaid's Tale? Do you want to go World Vaccination Concert? What are you feeling? What's going on?
Yeah, let's do the worst one first, which is Handmaid's Tale. So it's back. It's the fourth season, and was very excited because we learned yesterday that we got 3 episodes.
Well,
guess what?
Guess what?
I have some good news.
The first 3 episodes of season 4
are available on Hulu
right now.
Right now.
Right now.
So I love seeing the characters when they don't look like they're in misery, like Aunt Lydia and June, Elizabeth Moss's character. So yes, they dropped yesterday. I was super excited. I only had time to really watch one, and I sat down. I had my computer in front of me because it was like in the middle of the day, and started watching it. And I'm like, I can't do this. I need to be doing something else because it is so horrible. I mean, it wasn't bad filmography. Not bad on the plot. It's just still so violent and dark and terrible, and life is just horrible to the point where, so the season ends and there's all these children that were saved on this plane that goes up to Toronto, right? There's like 85 children, right? Like amazing. And remember, the whole world is having problems reproducing children. So like the fact that there's children that are in this safe space. Well, then guess what? The children are having a hard time adjusting in the new world in Canada because they only know the terrible world and they don't like processed food and all this other stuff because in Gilead, they ate all these like fresh fruits and everything was made homemade from scratch because that's kind of like the whole ecosystem. That's one of the... So even the safe children are miserable.
So you mean to tell me, and I've never seen a moment of Handmaid's Tale, but these children get saved from a place that's really not great and people are just used as like farm animals to reproduce. They get to Toronto and they're upset about
having chicken fingers for lunch.
Okay, just want to make sure I got that right.
Okay. So
like a gastrointestinal upset, or they're just like, not my flavor.
They're just having a hard time adjusting to their new world. So
Wow.
and meanwhile, Gilead is still happening. There is things that are being amputated and poked out and killed and tortured, and it is not a happy place.
And Gilead used to be the U.S., right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I think the place where most of the story takes place is what used to be Boston. And of course, there's that iconic scene when they go on a bus trip down to DC and, the monument and Lincoln aren't there anymore.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm good on that. I think I'm okay.
You know what it is? It's like we've seen some pretty terrible things over the last year, and that were real.
Right.
So I'm going to watch it. I'm going to get through it, but I'm going to do the dishes or do something else where I'm not like completely focused on it, so it doesn't just like hit me in the face.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Hulu for Animaniacs, but you let me know how it goes.
That pretty much sums up our relationship.
100%. So they've got this global Vaccination Live concert happening, which is a good idea. They're Vax Live on May 8th, and they have the big YouTube trailer. Prince Harry and Meghan are going to be hosting the thing. It's like a whole thing.
No, they're not hosting.
Or they're the chairs. Selena Gomez is hosting the thing. That's right.
Selena Gomez and like basically everyone from we're seeing them now. Foo Fighters, Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, and then Harry and Meghan are in this like mix. It's going to be in LA. It's basically on every network and YouTube and make the world a better place. Get vaccinated. Yeah. All the celebrities doing their good.
Here's my question though. Are we going to ask Selena Gomez before she hosts the vaccination concert if she was in fact vaccinated?
Well, I'm sure she was.
Well, I bring this up because in 2012 and in 2016, Selena Gomez was in PSAs about voting. Right. And then she told us in 2020 that was the first time she ever voted. So I'm just saying is all.
Oh, Tommy.
I'm
like,
just
really
asking the question.
You're saying she's hypocritical?
I'm not. Yeah, those are your words. I'm just saying she was in voting PSAs in 2016 and 2018. And then 2020 was the first time she voted. I believe she's around my age. So she had a couple of opportunities to vote while she was saying about voting.
Okay. I think voting and getting vaccinated for a terrible virus are very different things, but I hear you, Tommy.
I'm just saying is all. I'm just saying.
Are you going to watch it? Next Saturday night, 8:00. Get another virtual event. Grab your popcorn and a beer, and let's do this.
I mean, I'll have it on while I'm washing the dishes. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'd rather go sit outside and I go to a restaurant or something like that.
Yeah,
and catch the highlights later.
I haven't, but this is what I don't understand. It's all for a good cause. Like, I get it.
I'm into it.
But like, we've seen a decline in the Grammys and the Oscars when all the celebrities get together and tell each other how pretty they are. Don't work. So can we get a little bit more like instead? Like, why doesn't Ben Affleck go like, I don't know, like go on Cameo and do like some personalized cameos and send those out, or you know what I mean? Like, let's like deconstruct how we're doing these things.
Totally. I want Selena Gomez to be at a vaccination site, or I want Meghan Markle to be at a vaccination site, like 6 feet away in a plastic box, whatever we need. But I feel like that's the way we're going to like, I don't know that Coldplay dancing in a rainbow glitter is the way to get people vaccinated. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying I'm not appreciative of what they're doing, but I just don't think this is a Live 8 situation. I think we need it's a more like boots on the ground situation.
Yeah, a little bit more grassroots.
Yes, exactly. So if Jennifer Lopez wants to go out and like hang out at a vaccination site, maybe she can even learn how to give vaccines. Who wouldn't get there to get jabbed by Jennifer Lopez, after she's had the appropriate training?
You know what? There's a lot of volunteers that are getting involved. Not only that, like I know it hasn't been my experience in DC, but my son got vaccinated in Virginia because his dad lives there, and they're a tad more efficient in how they're doing it. The volunteers, we went to the Crystal City location, is incredible. There's people like handing out water or telling you where to go, making sure you get validated in the little parking garage that they have there. Like they have literally hundreds of volunteers at any given time. So they don't even have to put the needle in the arm.
Right. They can hand out water. If I knew that I got a vaccination and then Jennifer Lopez would give me a water, I'd be like, I already got my vaccine, but you know what I'm saying is all.
Right. Or take the little temperature. They take your temperature when you walk in, and she can do that.
My goodness. Could you imagine if Ben Stiller scanned your forehead?
Ben Affleck?
Holy hell. Either one. I mean, it's a global citizen thing. I am sure every Ben is going to be involved. Ben Platt's going to be there. Ben Affleck, Ben Stiller.
But go somewhere. Go to like Minnesota. Right? Not like right outside your door in LA.
Yes, absolutely. I feel like we're onto something here. Like, who do we call? Does Global Citizen have a phone number? I feel like we should like get them on Clubhouse or something.
Tommy, you were bragging earlier in the week that your husband's ribbons were on the Oscars. So apparently he knows somebody
on the production team. But yes, I'm with you. Let's do this. Yes, I think this is great.
It's a way to start.
That is a real way to get people paying attention about this. And I forget if it was 2020 or 21 maybe it was the midterms. Anyway, when like Miley Cyrus went door to door canvassing in Northern Virginia, she probably knocked on like 4 doors, but there was a lot of attention driven to and I don't know that she knocked on 4 doors. She might have knocked on doors all day long. Her knuckles might still be sore. I don't know that, but like she at least showed up and like she did a thing, right? It wasn't like Miley Cyrus is going to do a concert in Manassas. No, she like did the things that you need to do to get people to vote.
Yeah, J-Lo and a Manassas. That's gonna
right. That even sounds like an adventure. And then think about it. Like then they can like record it, and it could be like a Netflix like docuseries. Like J-Lo hands out water, and then we'll talk to the person who's like, I got a J-Lo water, and it made me blah blah blah. They can even make a show out of it if they want to. I think we're onto something here.
All right. Well, we'll get right on that.
Undercover, it's like Undercover Boss meets like Global Citizen. Next thing you know, you go to get a vaccine, and then J-Lo gives it to you.
I like it. All right, Tommy, let's talk about the Gargoyles.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. So, first, and as I was saying this, I realized I didn't grab the image for the important part of the story. So, Elie Wiesel, the Holocaust survivor and advocate who has lent such a voice and been so incredible, is going to be memorialized in the National Cathedral. And this is not a gargoyle. They're actually like doing a sculpture of him inside the cathedral. This is an honor that takes like years to do. And they're very discerning. They don't do it often. Like Rosa Parks has an image carved into the National Cathedral. So important and really cool that this has been announced and that they're working on it. And actually the timeline to get it done has been moved up because people haven't been in there. So they're making it happen, which is great. That's not him. That's Selena Gomez. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. But while I was on that, I went to the National Cathedral's YouTube page. And maybe you haven't seen this, maybe you have, but speaking of virtual events, it is an hour tour of the Gargoyles of the Cathedral. And this docent, Andrew Martin, who gives this tour, is tremendous. And I don't know if you know I know you know, Kelly, but like the broader you about the Gargoyles at the National Cathedral, there's like a Darth Vader gargoyle, and there's like culturally relevant gargoyles. Because a
lot of them you can't see from even if you from the ground or with binoculars, because they're like inside one of the spires of the cathedral.
Yeah, they're tucked away, they're hidden, and like our cathedral was being built like in the 1960s versus like the 1660s. Right. So there are some really interesting gargoyles that I want to just highlight for you real quick.
This cat is wearing a square hat called a tam, and this is what they give to all of the cathedral docents. Well, all of the women cathedral docents. They don't give them to the men. I asked, and it's called a tam. And it's the sign of the cathedral aides, is what they used to call the docents. So this one is called the Caddy Aid. So this gargoyle honors and represents all of the volunteers who serve at the cathedral.
Super cool, right?
That's very cool.
Who knew that cat in the hat was actually a nod to the docents? But I just love how like in it he is, and in this hour-long presentation, which we'll put a link in the comment. He also talked about how like on his honeymoon, he and his wife went to Notre Dame, and they like got like a gargoyle tour of Notre Dame, which I can only imagine. He was like, "Hey, I'm the guy from DC. Can I come check that out?" And so,
his Parisian colleague.
totally. And so then he was like going through all these gargoyles, and it's just fantastic how I can't imagine there's a church on the planet that has this sense of humor.
This is a very DC institution. This is the crooked politician. You can see he's got horns, the devil horns. He's also smoking a big old stogie. And on the side, you can see he has the scales of justice, and he is poking them awry. He is poking them out of alignment.
I mean, who knew?
Well, that's a good one.
An hour and 6 minutes on this program.
Right next to it is a big mouth son of a gun holding a big book to his throat. This is another very DC thing. This is the lawyer gargoyle.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't know about Poke the Bear and the lawyers. There's a lot of them in DC.
right? I have one more for you, but this is an hour of like, I promise you it's better than Animaniacs or Handmaid's Tale. Here's my favorite that was mentioned in the like 20 minutes of this program that I watched.
This was built in the late 60s, and he is a hippie. To be a hippie, you need a couple of things. You need your musical instrument, you need your long hair, you need your tattered clothing, your protest sign, you need your bell bottoms and your bare feet. But there's something even more important, and that is doobage. That's right. His bag of weed right here, according to the stone carver himself, that contains the hippie's stash of primo marijuana there.
Wow. Okay. Kind of love the Episcopalians.
It just kept happening, and I was like, I got other things to do. Andrew Martin, the docent, but you are a tremendous human being.
That's really fun.
So there's an hour of it. I'll put the link in the comments. You should definitely just take a minute and enjoy it.
And I'm so looking forward to the cathedral being open again. I live not too far from there, and it is a tourist destination. Mm-hmm. The restaurants and the open city, which is on the grounds there, have been closed. The gift shop has been closed. It's been so sad to see that kind of gathered dust over the last couple of months. So looking forward to that opening back up.
Are the grounds and the Bishop Garden open?
Bishop Garden is open, which is this year. I mean, it is gorgeous. Yeah, you can walk through that. That's all outdoor space. But yeah, Open City, the coffee and bakery shop is closed. I mean, and yeah, you can't get into the cathedral. A lot of people are using it. I saw yesterday are using it for like as a park space in the front, like to meet friends and sit on blankets.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat to see. That usually doesn't happen. And this weekend would have been also the annual Flower Mart, which is their big fundraiser. Obviously that's not happening this year. So I'm looking forward to activating that space again.
I know you live up there near there. And that's actually when you and I met when I lived near there too. And I remember like going for like jogs around the campus is so awesome. Such a great treasure in the DC area.
For sure.
Be back open again soon. And now you can check out the gargoyles and be like, there's the hippie with his weed.
That's right.
Hey, Britney Spears is getting a chance to speak. I will tell you when that is happening in 30 seconds. With Willie Water from WSSC Water. Are you excited about Drinking Water Week? Willie doesn't talk. All right, May 2nd through the 8th, we've got Drinking Water Week happening. And when you go to realfunddc.com/waterfund, you're going to learn all about the work WSSC Water does to help support our neighbors who can't afford their water and sewer bills. And get $100 restaurant gift cards from local awesome eateries. So we're helping out neighbors, we're helping out restaurants, and you're having a great meal. How awesome for Drinking Water Week. Go to realfunddc.com/waterfund. I know how strongly, Kelly, you are on the hashtag Free Britney movement.
I really don't care, but I'll listen on. Did Joe Biden talk about it last night? I mean, baby, I know It's a big concern of his too, right?
No, he didn't mention Britney and he didn't mention malarkey once. To do a joint session of Congress and him to not mention malarkey is like going to a Journey concert and them not playing Don't Stop Believin'.
Okay.
You gotta play the hits. I'm just saying is all.
So what's going on with her?
The speech was pretty great last night. But anyway, Britney Spears, the Free Britney movement, there's been some movement on it because no one has heard of Britney speaking out for herself during this whole conservatorship debate. She wasn't allowed to. Maybe you watched the documentary. Maybe you're like still fired up about all of the things. So she is going to have a chance to speak in court on June 23rd. So there was a hearing on the 27th of April when the judge was like, hey, maybe we should hear from Britney Spears about Britney Spears. And everyone was like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. So Britney's going to get a chance to speak. I don't know if we're going to just get like a courtroom sketch or if they're going to carry it live. I would assume there's interest in carrying it live, but we will go from there. But it's been 13 years that she's been under this conservatorship.
Yeah. Godspeed.
I know. I know.
I don't know what to say to you, Brittany. Okay. It seems like your life is still pretty good, but I hear you. You want to be independent financially. You've worked hard. Good luck.
Yep, exactly. And you know who's interested? Jonathan. She has a birthday with Britney Spears, so I just bringing that out there. Good old Britney. Pam's involved too. People care about Britney, Kelly. I feel like this is something we need to talk about. So I will remain. I will keep you informed about the legal advancements in the Britney Spears situation.
Thank you, Tommy.
You know, it's an honor to serve as the chief Britney correspondent around here. Someone's got to do it. Your opportunity to thank a teacher in Northern Virginia, all of Virginia, as a matter of fact. We're going to chat with our pal, Jennifer Mullen from the Virginia Lottery in just a few minutes about how they are making the end of the school year a little bit brighter for teachers in the Commonwealth and how one, maybe your kid's teacher or maybe a friend of yours that's a teacher can win $5,000 in school supplies. We'll talk to her next.